go. Good morning. It's 10 a.m. on the East Coast. Dave Gorman, Boogie with the Bull, Red Friday Morning Caffeine, and Bill Muckler, who provides his weekly commentary. And being a retired Marine captain, I like Bill to tell everybody what Red Friday is for those of you that don't know. And I'm pretty
Good
sure
morning,
most
Dave,
people don't.
and thanks for having me back after I missed a week. Boy,
That's
and
okay.
was that a lost week? Let me tell you,
Well,
really
for
a
me,
lost week. But we're here on Red Friday. Remember,
that is
everyone deployed. We honor and remember and pray for our young men and women who are serving our country honorably, deployed overseas. And remember, I keep saying, it doesn't make any difference where they're stationed. They could be stationed in Florida or North Carolina or someplace, and they're just a heartbeat away from being deployed. Do you see what happened in the last week or so? We had 100 of them, 100 of our Army personnel with this new technology missile battery. They're boots on the ground in Israel, aren't they? Yeah, there they are.
yep.
We knew it was going to happen, and how did that happen? I mean, they're gone. There they are. And let me tell you, if you're in Israel right now, you're in harm's way. And they're there because, and I hope I got this number right. Apparently, they've shot down something like 60,000. Is that right? That number just seems like it's mind blowing. And maybe I remembered that wrong or heard it wrong. 60,000 missiles they've shot at Israel. Now that may be over a long period of time, from Hezbollah to the north, Hamas to the southern interior, from the Houthis, that's Yemen, that's those primitive goat herders, and all of a sudden have this magical new technology that's just off the charts that they got from Iran. And Iran is they send missiles by they don't send a missile over, they send 200 at a time.
Yeah.
And what that does is it puts a tax on the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, Iron Dome, I think they call it, the protection to shoot down the missiles. Typically, they shoot down like more than 90%, 95% of them. A few of them somehow get through. Fortunately, most of them either land in the sea or in unpopulated areas. But the reason we sent our 100 troops and this new missile battery, new technology, is the Israelis are running out of missiles to shoot down the bad guys' missiles. That's
It is.
you got to think now, if they've shot 60,000 missiles at Israel, Israel's had to have 60,000 missiles to go up and intercept them. And boy, now we're talking about, this is what I did in the Marine Corps. We were an air defense control squadron, and our mission was to intercept enemy aircraft and missiles. So now we're talking, my wheelhouse, the stuff that I know about. I know how all this stuff works. The technology might be newer, but the basic operation is still the same. Okay. So, good news, Dave. Yesterday morning, I guess, and what time it was in Gaza, I'm not really sure. Some of the Israeli Defense Force, the IDF guys, got into a firefight with 3 guys, and they shot them and killed them. And one of them happened to be Yahya Sinwar. And Yahya Sinwar is the leader, the orchestrator of the October 7th massacre and raid on Israel. He's the guy that's behind all this, and the Israelis got him. Now, I'm
Good.
sure that Biden and Harris are going to want to take credit for this, but
Of course they are.
just think they got the leader, they got the head of the snake. Now, this guy Sinwar, he's been a radical Islamist all of his life.
Okay.
He was in an Israeli prison for 19 years up until 2011, and then they let him out on one of these exchange programs where the Israelis got one of their soldiers back, and they let out a whole bunch of them out of prison, and one of them was Yahya Sinwar. And so he's been working over the past 13 years on how he can destroy Israel. That's what he wants to do. He wants to destroy Israel. What in the hell kind of a person is that your whole life involves around, I'm going to destroy other people? I mean, that is so sick and so twisted.
Yeah.
That's kind of what got me right into this book, because in this book I explain it all, but I do it in the venue of a novel. So it's really kind of an exciting way to read something that's a story, but it tells
You
it
have,
tells the
you
story.
have to buy it. You have to read it.
Yeah.
Very easy. Very easy
So
reading, and you will enjoy reading it. So,
here's the thing: every Friday I come on, I end up, because I'm the resident Marine, and I had a top secret security clearance, and I kind of know how all this stuff works. I still am in touch with some guys, who new guys, so it's like generation from generation, you get to know people. So I know people who are on active duty. I know people who are involved in this. I didn't just dream this stuff up. And of
but
course, I read.
you did write the Conservative Patriot Broadcasters Bible.
Yeah, that's true. But in any case, we end up always talking about the military, and I don't want this to be just a, a military show, or just one topic or whatever. But we do have to remember our young men and women who are deployed. In the meantime, we got people in North Carolina who are trying to vote. Now, this is probably, I don't even know why I'm bringing this up. I feel like a jerk doing it,
No, bring it up.
because they've got so many more important things to do, like trying to find water to drink and trying to find, what happened to some of their relatives that are missing. One family, young man was on there. He and his wife were the only survivors of a family of mother and father, aunts and uncles and cousins and so forth of 13. 11 of the 13 were wiped away. Can you imagine if 11 of 13 of your closest relatives all of a sudden are just gone? I mean, they're just gone.
Yeah.
And
I couldn't.
this is part of the devastation of North Carolina. So anyway, early voting has started, and these people want to vote. And so whether they're going to get the vote or not, who knows, because there ain't no polling places, and there's no way to print the ballots and get the ballots in there. There's no place to go. They're talking about setting up tents as temporary voting places and so forth. So who knows what's going to happen as these brave citizens, combat the weather and lack of power, lack of water, lack of internet, and still try and perform their duty to vote in elections and so forth. Now, we got hit by two hurricanes right in a row, within 2 weeks of each other, Helena and Milton. Milton, what a stupid name for a hurricane.
Makes me think of Milton Berle every time I hear it. Every time I heard Milton, anytime
Yeah.
someone said
Poor old Uncle
Uncle Bill.
Milty's getting attached to this hurricane. When I was young, when I was young, my first hurricane, Dave,
Yep.
was in August. I think it was August the 5th. It may have been August the 3rd, but August the 5th, I think, of 1959. Hurricane Dot. I was just stationed on the island of Oahu in Hawaii, and this hurricane came through Hawaii, Hurricane Dot. And it did some damage. It shut down the air defense forces that were manned by the Hawaiian Air National Guard. And in the back of my mind, I thought, us Marines, we didn't shut down. We stayed online with our radar guarding the skies of Hawaii during a hurricane, when in the back of my mind, I thought, there's no way any enemy could fly an airplane through this to get to us, to do any damage. But we're Marines and we're on duty, and we stayed alert. So that was my first hurricane I went through. All hurricanes then were named after females. Now they alternated every other one. So Milton came through. And I have a good friend. I'm not going to mention her name. She has really been a blessing to me as far as contributing to my writing, as far as buying books and then sending me money, to help me carry on, because there's so many other expenses other than just the books. And I've got probably about 20 or 30, 25, 30 people who have really been overly generous, more than generous. And she's one of them. And I guess, I don't even know how old she is, probably in her early 70s. Beautiful lady, lives in Tampa. Finally, Dave got her dream house about 3 years ago on Reddington Beach. Are you with me?
Yes.
Okay. On Reddington Beach. Hurricane Milton comes through, and her house is gone. I mean, it's not like the roof's off or a few windows are broken. It's totally gone. Wiped out. There's nothing there. There's just the foundation is all that's left. Everything is completely gone. This is and her car completely gone. They don't even know where it is. She escaped to go and stay with her son further inland from Tampa. The clothes on her back, that's all she's got. She's got nothing else. Now, I want our viewers to think, what would you think if all of a sudden, in an hour or two, you were told, get out of your house. Don't take any time to gather anything up. You just get out, because you're not going to live through it if you don't. You get out and you lose everything you've got. Every photo you've got, every piece of furniture you got, every piece, every bit of clothing you have, except what you have on you. You have no clothes to put on. You have no computer, no laptop, no nothing. Everything is completely gone. Well, boy, let me tell you, that hurricane I thought was going to come through where I live in Highlands County, and we got lucky. It came a little bit north of us. So didn't really do any damage, knocked down some limbs and blew a lot of leaves off of trees and everything. But the reason I wasn't here last Friday was We lost our power before that hurricane even hit the shore up in the Tampa area, Siesta Key. Our power was gone. So here I am. I'm sitting there watching this thing on the Weather Channel. I got my phone out and I'm tracking it, and it's 9:47 in the evening and gone. Black. Everything's gone. My power's gone, my internet's gone, my water's gone. I'm sitting there, total darkness. And it stayed that way all the way through when we normally have our show on Friday. It was still the same way, Dave, until the end of the weekend. Finally got back. And so what happens is, and I shouldn't even say this because when I think of my friend Karen, who lost everything in Reddington Beach, and the people who lost their family up in North Carolina, all I lost was my refrigerator. My refrigerator decided he didn't want to work anymore. So I got the thing turned on, but all it would do is it didn't make anything cold. And when I got a freezer up on the top,
Yep.
and the air blown out of the freezer is room temperature. I wouldn't say it was hot, but it was room temperature.
Yep.
I lost every bit of food that I had in my freezer and refrigerator. Now, here's the thing. These people don't understand if you've never lost power and water and internet and all that kind of stuff for a long period of time, like they have up in North Carolina or whatever. I was fortunate, I'm blessed. What I had was annoying and inconvenient and everything, but you can't fix any food. But I was prepared enough that I had enough food that I didn't have to cook, that I could eat, without preparing it. But normally, I need my stovetopper oven, or my I got a toaster oven, or I got a microwave to make my food. So I can't do that. So all the food I have, it's just sitting in that hot refrigerator, because the refrigerator eventually, it loses the heat and rotting away. So you might say, well, go out and eat. Well, every restaurant in town, every shop in town, the Publix, everybody shut down completely. They got no power. And there's no trucks coming in to make deliveries. I mean, we're like the land that time forgot. And it's really sad. So what I went through is like on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm like a 2 or 3. The people in Siesta Key, Reddington Beach, that area, they're a 10. The people in North Carolina, they're a 10. And all I'm trying to do is explain that these people are suffering. I mean, you cannot imagine how bad it is how bad is it for me? I lost about $400 or $500 worth of food, and I got to get a new refrigerator. And boy, I got a big problem with that. I'm still trying to get my condo back organized again from everything, and I got an issue. I tried to buy a new refrigerator. I bought a new refrigerator. They brought one out. I paid for them to take it back, Dave. Yeah. And they wouldn't disconnect my old refrigerator because it had a copper line. They said, well, where's your plumber? I said, you didn't tell me I should have a plumber here. Well, yeah, you have to have a plumber here to disconnect the copper line. I said, but I'm paying you guys to install this thing. Well, if you had a stainless steel line, we would install it. So I went round. So anyway, they took the refrigerator back. The restaurants are all open now, and they all have enough food on the menus. So I'm going out and I'm eating out, and eventually, I guess I'll work this out. But anyway, So I never did hear this hurricane kind of came through and from west to east and kind of tracked it looked like a little bit north of Lakeland, so it would have went up Highway Interstate 4. And see, now here's the other thing, Dave. When my power went out, the hurricane is still like 50 miles offshore.
Ah,
I have no idea. My phone doesn't work. Nothing works. I don't know if that hurricane's going to hit me or north of me, or if it's going to, wipe out the state of Florida, or where it's going to go, or where it's at. Absolutely nothing because you ain't going outside unless you're really a dumbass. I mean, you don't go outside in hurricanes in Florida. That's one thing you gotta know. That's something you don't know. So you sit in the house in the dark. Well, I don't have any candles, and I guess maybe I should get some candles. But I got a couple of really good flashlights. I got one that's a big 12-volt guy, and go around. But you can't take a shower. You can't get water out of the tap. You can't flush the toilet.
yep.
You can't do anything. But at least I've got one. The people in North Carolina and on in Tampa on the beach there, they ain't even got a house.
No.
And I guess what I'm trying to say is, I'm just trying to say, what happened to me, what I experienced, is so annoying and disruptive. But it's nothing compared to what happened to the rest of these people. So and FEMA. Let's talk about FEMA.
Don't get me started.
This time my ARCA says we ain't got any money because we gave it all to the illegals when they invaded our country.
$1 billion.
How many billions did we send to Ukraine? But we ain't got money for.
Well, we sent trillions of billions over to Ukraine.
So I understand now, and they're saying, well, we're going to, and this is a couple weeks old now. The news is a couple weeks old. FEMA's going to give $750 to the people in North Carolina that were, hit by Hurricane Elena. But from what I understand, they got like 40 pages of paperwork they got to fill out to get their $750. But the illegals, they just come and get off the bus and they hand them a $500 debit card, charge $500, and here's your hotel room key. You're staying in a hotel, and order your and tell us what gourmet food you want and everything. They just give that away free to the illegals, but our citizens, they got to go through all this paperwork. So wait a minute, Dave. Think about this. They've lost their homes and everything. They don't even have a pen or pencil to write on. They don't have a computer to fill this out online. They don't have any way of even doing this. So FEMA is so corrupt. They're so full of shit. Boy, I better watch my language.
Ah, that's okay.
There's no way that the people can even apply for their measly $750 that it takes a bureaucratic miracle to get. But we can give money away to everybody. We give money away to Ukraine. We give money away to the illegals invading our country. We give money for illegals to have sex changes in prison.
Yep.
We got money for everybody but our own people who need it.
Yep.
And this is really getting to me. It's bothered me. But boy, this past few weeks has really driven this thing home, Dave. Boy, I think, we're seeing it. So anyway, I've been wanting to ask you. I tried to start to ask you, and I keep stumbling over myself. What happened to you when Hurricane Milton came through? Because I don't have any idea
And
where it went.
it came up through Jacksonville. I woke up about one 15 anyway, and 1:30 I heard the winds, I heard the rain. 1:45 it was done. It it didn't it didn't do any damage on our street. We didn't lose power. We didn't lose internet. We didn't lose anything. Uh, Matter of fact, the five big dogs that we have in the house, they slept right through it too. But
Um,
it was minor.
are you on JEA?
Yes.
Yeah, that's who I had when I lived up there. That, for people who don't know, that's the Jacksonville Electric Authority. They have JEA's got everything. They've got the power plants. They got the water treatment. They got the water. You get your JEA bill, and it's the electric and water. They've got everything. But I've always I was always very happy with them. I lived with JEA for about 12 years, and I was really pleased with them.
Yeah. I mean, most of the time I'm pleased with them. I turn my computer on and it comes on. I turn the lights on, it comes on. I flush the toilet and it flushes. So
so life is good.
So life is pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. So life is good for me because I'm alive. I no damage, no nothing. So I was inconvenienced. It was a little annoying. So in our community here, I live in a 55 plus community called the Bluffs. We've got like 37 buildings. We've got a little bit more than 200 units and around 400 residents. Now a lot of them aren't here right now because they're those stupid snowbirds. They call them snowbirds. Most of the people don't come down until around Thanksgiving, and they stay until Easter or after Easter. So we have we sit in from Highway 27, which is main drag. It's like 6 lanes divided. It's almost like an interstate. And our office building is on there. And our office building actually has two units. And one unit was rented out by somebody, I guess an insurance company or something like that. But they went out of business during COVID in 2020. And we haven't gotten anybody in there because there's a lot of empty spaces for rent in this area. So we've converted that to be called Clubhouse Number 2. And Clubhouse Number 2 in our office, all in one story building, nice building, nice parking lot and everything. We have a generator and a propane gas tank. So we could run power there, and the powers to be our board decide they would run from 8 to 4. Some people wanted to run it 24 hours a day, but they said, hey, we don't know how much gas we got, and we don't know how long we're going to be off, so we want to make sure we can conserve everything. So they stayed open from 8 to 4. So I'm there on Friday afternoon, and I talked to the treasurer of our association, and I said, this may sound like a stupid question, but what happened to this hurricane? He said, you mean Hurricane Milton? I said, yeah. He says, it's gone out in the Atlantic. I said, news to me. I got no internet. I got my phone wouldn't even work. I couldn't even get my phone to work. My kids are calling me up, and the message goes straight to voicemail, but it doesn't record anything on voicemail. It just says, boom, it's done. And I'm trying to text out, and I'm trying to call out. and it won't connect anything. So I'm completely out. I can't look at the weather channel on my phone. I can't, so the hurricane's gone for a couple of days, and I'm still kind of wondering what happened to this thing.
Well, they are already seem to be talking about the next one. Uh, they remember the name of it, but and I don't know when they predict it will hit Florida, but it's coming up. It will come in through Florida and hopefully not do any damage at all, and move on and not do any damage there. Or you know, I had a dream the other night that we, working with the military, a bunch of us created this technology, and it's probably there, that they can fire something into the eye of the hurricane and it just breaks it up before it has a chance to do any damage. Like, say it's 500 miles away from here in the Yucatan Peninsula, in the Gulf of Yucatan. When they see it and it gets to a certain stage, they can just shoot something into it and blow it up. Maybe it's wishful thinking, but it would be nice that maybe someday they'll have that technology.
And maybe someday we will, although then I think, I don't know, maybe, maybe humankind shouldn't mess with Mother Nature.
No, that's true. But
I don't know. That's just a thought. I got no reason for saying that other than it just seems like, well, this rock that we're on has been around for what, 4.3 billion years, and it's gone through a lot of changes, and now we got some politicians tell us that we're going to wreck the thing in a couple of years, but you know, nothing's happened yet. I don't see how humankind can do that. So
I get tired of listening to politicians say that something's going to run out or we're going to destroy it, because they've been saying that Social Security is going to run out of money and go broke by 2035. And then next week they'll say, no, 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 it'll be 2045. Then, 2065. Then they stop saying it's going to run out because it never runs out. It's going to be an interesting election. I'm hoping that my Democrat friends realize that their candidate is not anywhere near the best interest for the country, the best qualified person. I don't think she is qualified. Didn't do anything as borders are. Now wants and vice president. Really now wants to be president.
If
if
Kamala Harris is elected president, she becomes commander in chief. Now, a lot of people, I'm going back, but
yep.
Is she of the same stature and ilk as, say, Harry Truman, that could say, we're going to use an atomic bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki and end this war so we can save 500,000 of our troops from invading Japan? Do you think that she has the ability to do that? Do you think that she has the ability to take over our country like Eisenhower did and get ourselves out of the Korean War and start the space program and the interstate system and settle America down after World War II is over? Has she got the ability to do that?
I don't think so. Or in her 4 years as vice president, she hasn't proven that she does. In her terms in the Senate, She, like Biden, she really, well, Kamala's worse. She really didn't, bring any bills, any big important bills, uh, that made a difference in anything. And so, no, I really don't. And more, what I'm afraid of is if she does become president, people are saying that we have become a socialist country under Biden and Harris. And if Harris gets elected, it's not going to be we're becoming; it's going to be we will be, and it's not anywhere in the best interest of our citizens, really, for that to happen.
So now I've heard Trump this week.
And I think, yep. You heard what?
I think you got frozen or I got frozen. That's why
Well,
I ended up.
it's on our end. It's on our end, but they edit all of that out when we post it as a podcast. So
I've noticed Trump, I think, a couple of times this week has called her a Marxist. Wow, about time. And I can't criticize Trump because I don't know, what what their strategy and everything is. But obviously, she's a Marxist. Her parents were Marxists.
yeah, her
He
father
was
taught it.
brought up a Marxist.
Yeah,
She's a Marxist.
her father taught it at Stanford.
So anyway, why should we care if she's a Marxist and she's going to implement Marxism in the United States? It's because Marxism is not compatible with our Constitution. Our Constitution has got nothing to do with Marxism, and Marxism cannot be implemented or integrated into our Constitution. So it's going to take a completely different set of laws. Now, Dave, you and I have both been around and we've been paying attention. You know how many times Democrats are saying, well, the Constitution is outdated and we got to get rid of it. We need a new Constitution. What they're really talking about is they want a Marxism document to rule our country.
Right. They don't want us to be the Constitution. Yeah, sorry on the words. The constitutional republic that we are. They don't want that. They want to be the rulers of the country. No,
anyway,
go ahead.
I've been I'm thinking about all the stuff I need to do. I've been up since early this morning.
Yep.
I've done a couple of loads of laundry already. In fact, I think the dryer is done, and I need another load I need to put in the dryer because my cleaning person is coming. And that is really good timing because she couldn't have, if she'd have came last Friday, which was not her scheduled time, this was her scheduled time, she couldn't do anything because she couldn't obviously run anything like the vacuum cleaner or anything because we had no power, we had no water. We had no internet. We had no nothing. You can't even clean your darn house. Well, you can a little bit, So,
yeah.
So eventually, though, we got our water back.
Good.
Being the clever guy that I am, I spent a lot of time on Navy ships. And on Navy ships, they only got so much water, and they put a whole bunch of us Marines on there, and we're supposed to be doing PT and working out and all that kind of stuff, and we like to take a daily shower, and we want to have some water to drink. And you're on a ship. Well, where's the ship going to get that water from? Well, you're floating on it, except for one thing, it's salt water, and you can't do salt water. You can't drink it. You can't use it for anything. It'll kill you. Don't drink salt water, folks. It'll kill you. So these ships have desalinization equipment. In other words, they can convert the salt water into fresh water, but they only have a certain amount of capacity to do that with. So what you do when you're in the Navy or you're in the Marine Corps on a Navy ship is you take what is known as a Navy shower. And I told some of my neighbors about this, and they caught on pretty quick. Navy shower means you get in the shower, you turn it on for 30 seconds, you get yourself kind of all wet, turn it back, turn the water off, soap yourself down real good, turn the water back on for 30 seconds, rinse off, and you're done. That's a Navy shower. It works fine. Our hot water heaters, I found out from past hurricanes, is that the hot water heater, I think mine is only like a 30-gallon tank because I'm in a condo, it's in this unit back here where you see that ugly looking door there. And it's got the hot water heater and the air conditioner all in the same place. So anyway, it'll keep the water hot or warm for a few days. So what I do, because I got to take a shower in the morning, Dave, I can't go without a shower. I just nuts, I'm obsessive. I got to take a shower. And I need to brush my teeth. When you don't have any water, you can't brush your teeth. So what do? You have some bottled water, and you pour the bottled water.
Yeah.
You make do. So the water comes on, and I'm able to get enough warm water out of my hot water tank to take showers in the morning, Navy showers, and they actually get enough water to wet my toothbrush and brush my teeth. And then once you get finished with the brushing your teeth, you kind of want to rinse that stuff off the toothbrush, right? You don't want all that goop, accumulating on there.
No.
When you don't have water. Now think about the people in North Carolina. They don't even have toothbrushes. I mean, they lost everything.
Yeah.
They lost everything. In Tampa, over on the beach over there, Siesta Key, all that whole area around Treasure Island and so forth. I know that area there. I've been there all my life.
Yep.
Nothing there. They don't even have toothbrushes. So, God, thank God. I mean, I'm blessed. I came out lucky on this thing, and I came out lucky enough to be able to say, I know what it's like to have the minor inconvenience, not the devastating inconvenience that they have. So anyway, I'm getting my place. I'm getting my place so it can get cleaned up, and the ladies in our audience will appreciate this. Before my cleaning person comes in, she comes in every fourth Friday at 1:00 for 3 hours. She does a fantastic job. Her father's a Korean War vet, by the way. Man, he's like 94, 95. He's doing better than me. I could do as good as he is. He was a Chosun Reservoir guy. Anybody go through the Chosun Reservoir, man, they are something. They're tough dudes. So anyway, I got to get everything kind of put away and straightened out and organized and do the laundry, the sheets and everything, because I don't want her to have to do all that stuff. I just want her to clean the place.
Yeah.
Do the stuff I can't do. My back is such that I just can't do the floors anymore. I've tried. I can't do it.
No.
And I'm gonna be 90 next summer, and I'm thinking, how much longer am I going to even be able to do a lot of stuff I'm doing? I've been pretty fortunate, pretty lucky, and I've really been blessed and fortunate that I can remember back before Pearl Harbor. Remember Pearl Harbor. Remember World War II, Korean conflict, Vietnam, and so forth. Hey, let me. I mentioned something about Harry Truman. Harry was from Missouri, where I'm from. He was a Democrat. Back then the Democrats, they had the conservative wing and the liberal wing, and the Republicans had the conservatives and the liberals. Now it's like the Republicans are supposed to be conservatives, but they're more middle of the road socialists, and the Democrats are far left wing Marxists. That's what our political system has devolved to. But I hear people say, oh, Kennedy was the guy who started the space program. No, that's not true. The space program started back around 52, 53, 54, even when Truman was still in office, but really got started with Eisenhower in Huntsville, Alabama, with the Army Redstone Project. The Army was in charge of the space program then. Nobody knows that. Then we ended up with NASA. And what happened was, because I have a very close friend. The guy passed away a year and a half ago. He's a Iwo Jima vet. He was the director of launch vehicle operations. In other words, he was the number 2 guy in NASA. Hey, good friend of mine. We're buddies. He used to spend a lot of time in his house together and everything. He loved my books, by the way. He used to go. He worked for the Army. And left the Marine Corps after World War II. They kind of, everybody gets released from active duty because they're drawing down the military. Went to Georgia Tech to school, got an engineering degree, brilliant guy. Gets hired by the Army in Huntsville, Alabama, and the Redstone rocket program is involved in that. And what they do is they come down to Cape Canaveral to shoot the rockets off. Well, eventually they founded, organized into NASA, and all the people that were in the Army and the Redstone Project anyway became employees of NASA, and they moved the whole operation to Brevard County, to Cape Canaveral in Florida. So Kennedy got all the credit for everything. It's like Kennedy founded the space program. We were putting guys in space before Kennedy ever even ran for election. That just goes to show you how twisted everybody gets history. Well, when you live through it and you see how they twist it around, you think, why are they doing this? How did they do it? Another one that really bothers me is when I hear people talk about how a certain person is, and they keep pumping you with this because it's just the opposite. And let me tell you why. I was there. I went to Vietnam in '61. I didn't go on shore. I didn't set foot on soil. They sent my squadron over to Okinawa instead. But I know all the guys that went to Vietnam. I know about Vietnam. I know that. Walter Cronkite, the most trusted name in news, was the biggest liar and the biggest joke there ever was. He was a traitor to our country. He was a no-good SOB. And what they did to cover his butt, what they did was they said he's the most trusted man in the news. And they kept saying that over and over and over again. They kept that lie going. That's what the Marxists do. They just keep telling the same lie over and over and over again pretty soon we got a whole country saying Walter Cronkite, most trusted name in news, when he was actually the worst trusted name in news, and a guy that was a complete traitor. Not an American. He was a Marxist, and unbelievable. But that's how he did. So anyway, I remember back in the 80s and 90s, there was this senator from Delaware, and they said, Joe Biden is the expert on foreign relations. And I'm looking at what he's doing. I'm thinking, wait a minute, what a crock of crap this is. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Well, finally, Robert Gates, who was the not Bill Gates, the Microsoft guy, Robert Gates, the guy who was the Secretary of Defense, said the one thing we know about Joe Biden and foreign relations is everything he said was wrong. Remember when he said that? And so they kept telling us Biden was the expert on international relations, on foreign relations, and Biden was the expert when it was a lie.
Yep.
So anyway, he ends up getting picked to be the vice president mainly because Barack Obama wanted somebody that had that kind of experience, and they believed that.
Yeah.
So, and when I talk to people, and people will argue with me to a point where they're actually gonna fight me. If they had a gun, they would shoot and kill me because I'm trying to tell them the truth, and they are so hard-headed. They have so embedded in their mind the false narrative that they've been brainwashed to believe by the Democrat Party, by the Marxists who are rewriting history and our Constitution. They will defend that to not only to the death, but to my death. And it's so frustrating because you think, God, I love America, and I want Trump to become president because he's an America First guy. And I've even gotten to the point where I even kind of like the guy. He got shot, and they don't care. They hope he gets shot again. Hey, that's another thing we haven't talked about, Dave, is the Secret Service. Boy, what a letdown that's been.
Really?
I always thought the Secret Service, they were like the ultimate. They were like the best of the best. They were like the sacred keepers of the truth and safety of America. And it turns out they're nothing but a DEI organization that's gone completely down the tubes.
Well, people are saying, that they think Trump should hire more of his own security and have them with him than relying on his Secret Service team. And I support that because, but I also support that they've shown, the world has seen that Trump is at risk of being assassinated. So, you got to give him more protection to make sure it doesn't happen.
And we know that Iran has made threats on his life, and I can't disagree with what you're saying, Dave. I support what you're saying, but there's something in the back of my mind is saying that's that's keeping Trump safe, but it's not fixing the real problem.
Right.
And fixing the real problem is what we need to do. But in the short term, in the stopgap, maybe we do need to have somebody to keep Trump safe at least for the next 3 to 6 months or whatever that it's going to take to have the election process go, inauguration, all that process go through. But and I think there has to be a systemic change to the Secret Service. I'm not sure that they should continue to be under Homeland
No,
Security. They were under Treasury before, and maybe that's the place. Maybe that's where they should go back to, is under Treasury. I don't think they should report directly to the president. And the only reason I say that is if they report directly to the president, then the president can pretty much personally mold the Secret Service to the way he wants it. And with Trump, I would have no problem with it.
right.
But we get another Democrat in there, get somebody like a Harris in there. I don't want them messing with the Secret Service. And the Secret Service is involved in too many things that are not really protection. They're involved in counterfeiting and every other damn
Right.
thing you can think of. Let's get the Secret Service doing what they should be doing. That's why we have a Treasury Department. That's why we have the U.S. Marshals. We got the FBI. Why is the Secret Service involved in all these other activities? It's all redundant bureaucracy.
Well,
The government starts a program, and man, when they start a program, it stays forever. Yeah. It's like the never ending story.
Yeah, well, that's part of goes along with, like Nancy Pelosi said, we'll start a program. We'll give it a budget and a bunch of money to operate. If it doesn't pan out and we shut down that operation, we don't take the money back. We just leave it there, and then we send it to someplace else, which has to be why they went to FEMA and took the $1 billion, because FEMA must have had $1 billion in their account. And there's got to be a bean counter within the Biden administration who talks to all the secretaries and says, make sure on Wednesday you get me your new budget allocation request, so I have it and I can write the check or transfer the money on Friday at the next meeting. But that, and along, Trump has been saying, smaller government. Reagan, I think, said it too. I think Reagan originated it. We need to rein in the size of this beast and get rid of what we don't need,
and stop the Fed from printing fake paper, fake money.
Well,
Dave,
I personally think we should stop the Fed. So maybe I'll bring that up with you next Friday, because I know you've discussed it before, and it's in the books, the 2020 books.
Yeah.
And, part of my supporting Trump is that I think that's what he wants to do. He wants to shut down the Fed, wants to simplify the IRS, or just eliminate the IRS, because there wouldn't be income taxes anymore. Maybe.
Right. Yeah, Kennedy tried that with the Fed and the CIA, and we saw what happened to him.
Yeah.
Hey, anyway, it's 11 o'clock or a minute or so before 11, and I've still got a bunch of stuff to do. Okay. I've got stuff in the washer, stuff in the dryer, and I got stuff all over the place, and I don't want to have my cleaning person show up and me not be organized. I'd be embarrassed.
All right, Bill, it's been my pleasure, and I hope that we'll be back next Friday.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you so much. I'll see everybody next Friday. Lord willing, God bless everybody. God bless America.
All right, Bill. Thank you very much. We'll see you next Friday. Okay. There we go. Bill Muckler. You had the Bill Muckler show actually it was every day for a year, but every day, Monday through Friday. It's on at 11 o'clock in the morning. I think the Bill Muckler Show group is still here on Facebook. You can go in and watch the old broadcast. And it was important I think to bring him on an hour a week and get his commentary. And it's not always political. It's fun to hear, things that happened when he was my age and even before my age. And I love hearing military stories anyway. My grandfather was in the Navy for a very long time, and he told the best. He told the best military stories of anybody I ever knew. But I love hearing that kind of stuff too. Uh, which is why again we bring him on every Friday at 10 a.m. We do our salute to Red Friday. Remember, everyone deployed. My mouth is getting in the way of my tongue this morning, trying to get words out. I'm not sure uh, what that is today. I didn't sleep very well last night, so barely thoughts come out of my mouth this morning. I will apologize, as I put into the comments, that yes, we are freezing a lot lately on our broadcast. I don't know if there's a problem with the internet as a result of Milton coming through. But bear with us, and we will do that. Any freezing that you see in a broadcast is edited out, and broadcast, you won't see any of that freezing. Restream will take it and kick it right out, compress it down, so it's just one solid broadcast without the interruption. So if you have the time later, go back and watch the edited podcast version, which will be up in about 15, 20 minutes. On Fridays, it's on Fridays at 10 o'clock. It's Bill Muckler and I, only because I like having him on. I like his commentary. I like the war stories. I like the stories that he shares about the United States back before a lot of us were born and where we are now. And as everybody seems to agree, if we elect Kamala Harris president, we're going to become the United States of Marxism, or the Marxist States of America. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. I don't even know how you can have America in that name, because that's not who we are. That's not what we are. Uh, you know, uh, and we need a southern border. We need the southern border completed. You know, the money was the money the money was given to build the Trump wall. They had panels that they never put up. That they were paying something like $166,000 a day per panel to store them, and then evidently it appears that the Biden regime sold the panels. If that's true, Joe Biden's got some explaining to do to Congress to explain what he did. And the answer obviously is, well, I sold it. Well, where'd the money go? Well, it didn't go to the federal government, back to the taxpayers. So the regime will be a third presidency that they talk about forever. Primarily, number one thing they wanted to do was eliminate Donald Trump from coming back ever again as president, and they'll go right down to the end of their administration trying to see that happens. The Department of Justice was weaponized in Biden's defense more than the Americans' defense. I get tired of telling people, as Attorney General of the United States, you are not the president's attorney. House counsel is the Attorney General is responsible to the American people as the quote unquote secretary or director of the Department of Justice, and not to the president that appointed them. But maybe, as I've said before, maybe cabinet secretaries should not be, I guess what I'm trying to say is it shouldn't matter that you were appointed by a Democrat president because, again, you're not running the Department of Justice for the Democrats who appointed you. You're running the Department of Justice for the American citizens that, you're the top law officer for the United States of America. But anyway, we go through all that stuff all the time. Mama D says, I'm going to go in the store now. Have a great weekend. You have a great weekend that you stopped by. William Rayfield, I'm glad you stopped by. Will, again, I'm having trouble getting words out of my mouth this morning. I'm not drunk or anything. I'm just having trouble getting the words out of my mouth. William, I'm going to message you later in the day if you want to join me Monday and Wednesday at 10 a.m. on Monday morning and Wednesday morning caffeine. Those two broadcasts, 10 a.m. until 11:30. You're more than welcome to join me every week. Also, Daniel Smith, if you want to join me on that broadcast, if you can, it's 10 a.m. Eastern, Monday and Wednesday. You're welcome to join me. And Chuck Cook, if you watch this, you're welcome to join me. And we'll grow a panel. There, and then anybody is welcome to join me on Tuesday and Thursday night at 7 p.m. where we do our evening broadcast because we get more people watching and more people get involved. So if you like the broadcast, give it a thumbs up and share it. And if you didn't like it, a thumbs up or a thumbs down. If you didn't like it, and then comment why you didn't like it. Because we want to know. Share the broadcast while you're watching it in as many groups as you can share it in, because the more groups that you get it posted in on Facebook or even put it on your profile, the more avenues we have for people to watch the broadcast, the better. And we'll all work together to make sure that Donald Trump becomes the 47th president of the United States. And that should match. No, the only one that did more was Roosevelt did 4 terms. So, but maybe the laws will change, and President Trump will be able to serve more terms, or maybe it will be time for Vice President Vance to become president. Anyway, like I said, I'm having trouble getting the words out of my mouth, so I'm going to probably just wrap up this broadcast and let it go. But as I was trying to say, anyone who wants to co-host Monday and Wednesday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, morning caffeine on those 2 days, and be a part of Tuesday, Thursday night live 7 p.m. Eastern broadcast, you're more than welcome to do so. Or if you just want to join a broadcast that you're watching on Monday and Wednesday, Tuesday and Thursday, come into the live chat, ask for the link, and we'll bring you on, and you're part of the family. Be part of the broadcast. The more people involved in the broadcast, the more thoughts and opinions get shared, and that's important, because you don't want to hear me talk for an hour and a half every broadcast. But anyway, I'm going to go feed the dog, the cat, myself, and get the weekend ready to rock and roll. Tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern on the American Rebellion blogger page. Join Jerry Michaels for the American Rebellion. The lead I will be on tonight. I apologize for there not being a Thursday night live broadcast last night, but I had two doctor appointments, and then I had to go to the lab and get blood and other things, and was just too wiped out by the time I got home. At 7 o'clock, I was already in bed sleeping. Anyway, I hope you have a great weekend. I thank everybody who watched. Regina Musser, William Rayfield, Mama D, as I said, and Kevin Slate is watching. I will say to Kevin, it's more fun to watch and be in the live chat where you share your thoughts and opinions, and I make them a part of the broadcast too. So, as I said, thumbs up if you like the broadcast. Please share it however you can. Invite your friends to watch the broadcast and share the broadcast, and everybody become a part of the broadcast. And if things go the way we need it to go, Donald Trump will be elected president. Uh, and if he's not, it's going to be a different world. It's going to be 4 years of a different world, unless a Republican House, unless a House and Senate can agree and impeach her if they're taking her in the wrong direction. But then you end up with President Walz, who isn't even qualified to become vice president. Um, so, we'd have to probably impeach him, and that would make the Speaker of the House president, I guess. And you don't want to get me started there. I don't think Mike Johnson should become president of the United States if the chain of command brings him uh, to the presidency. I honestly don't. You know, you're not supposed to talk bad about other Republicans, but you know what? I'm sorry. That's a whole other broadcast that we can't do. So anyway, Double B is for victory. This Boogie with the Bull broadcast is going to come to an end. You've been watching Boogie with the Bull, Red Friday Morning Caffeine, a copyrighted presentation of the No Vector Broadcasting Company. Go to the Bill Markler Facebook profile and read up on Bill's 3 books. The 2020 books, 2020, A Clear Vision for America, 2020, A Clear Vision for Our Future, and the novel Six Soft Targets. 6 Soft Targets. And you'll find the information on how to order the books. Bill personally autographs the books, writes a nice note to you in each of the books, or if you're giving them to someone, let him know who and tell him about the person, and he will again personally autograph uh, those books for you. The 2020 books are $25 for the set, both books. Clear Vision for America, Clear Vision for Our Future. $25 for the set. That includes the cost of shipping the book to you, and the novel Six Soft Targets. My tongue is just getting in the way. 6 Soft Targets is a $20 donation, which again covers the cost of printing the book to you. So go to the Bill Buckner Facebook profile, and you can read up on the books. Talk to friends that that have bought the books. Like I said, I call the 2020 books the Conservative Patriot Broadcaster's Bible. The information that is in them is just as valid as in 2015 when he wrote the first one, 2018 I think when he wrote the second one, and a smart guy and fun to have on. Anyway, go enjoy the rest of your Friday. And if you're around tonight at 7 p.m., watch the American Rebellion on the American Rebellion blogger page here on Facebook. Jerry Michaels and whoever else shows up. You know. And that's about all I got to say. So, Double me Boogie with the Bull broadcast is going to come to an end. I'll hit that one more time. I'll say it slower, so maybe my tongue won't get in the way of my teeth. W's for victory. This Boogie with the Bull broadcast is going to come to an end right now. Again, the edited podcast version without the freezing will be posted in about 15 minutes. So if you didn't share the broadcast while we were live, wait about 15 minutes and then go to my profile, take it and share it. Or go to the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel and share it from there. Because both before they post the podcast, edit out all the crap and stuff.